Oh, hello everybody, Jason up New Year's Revolution Cave. Happy Saturday to you. Very close to ordering the Papasan chair for down here. But tonight I'll be in the garage watching a VHS tape on an old 13-inch television. That's right, the Space Command will be fired up tonight. The old Zenith Space Command. We got a VCR hooked up to it. And I'll be watching, finally watching a movie on, oh crap. Finally watching a movie on VHS this evening. So what else is going on? Well, I think I'm going to do these summer kickoff videos here. It's summertime. And kind of a combination of hey, do you remember, and just some random memories that come to mind. I'm in the garage today, and I've got the Space Command up there, and I've got it sitting finally on one of those brown wheelie carts, the two-tiered wheelie carts. I finally found one on the curb about a month ago and brought it into the garage. And if you bring that into your garage, you have to set up a TV on it. And I'm looking, and I've got the green AstroTurf carpet that I'll probably replace in the next couple of weeks also. More on that later. And it's warm, and I've just got this feeling. And a memory came to mind, and it's something that I talked about way in the early days of the channel. But it was that particular TV sitting on that particular cart on top of that particular green indoor-outdoor carpeting that reignited that memory. And that's kind of what this little series will be about. Just 8-minute videos or so about memories as they enter my brain. So my grandparents would have like I have now, the indoor-outdoor garage space, right? In the winter time, they would pack everything away and use the garage to park their car and the snowblower and whatever. And it was out of commission. But come June or maybe even May, they would open it up. They would put the screen in. They would roll out the green carpeting. They'd bring out a white plastic dining set, almost like a patio dining set. I remember orange cushions on it, ashtrays aplenty, and at one point there was actually a love seat out there, and the TV on that cart, that brown paneling colored cart with the wheels and like the brass, and it was awesome. The TV always sat on it. I don't remember what was on the lower tier of my grandparents. They certainly didn't have a VCR in the garage, but that's what their garage looked like. And we would go over there in the summertime before I lived with them. We'd go over there in the summertime because we had nothing to do all summer. There was never any summer plans in my family. None. No vacations, no nothing. So when it was unbearably hot, we would go to my grandparents and swim in the in-ground pool. And the pool had a diving board and a slide and everything, and it was just great. But that garage was the meeting spot, because when we were wet, my grandmother didn't want us in the house. So we would just go in the garage. And if we soaked the green outdoor AstroTurf carpeting, it didn't matter. And that garage was home to many hot dog meals, many macaroni salad meals, many Pepsis, and many chips and dip and all sorts of fun stuff. But I remember this one particular time, and it was, I think it was late summer actually, because, and I don't know if it still airs, I really have no idea what airs on television, but something called the Jerry Lewis Telethon was a big deal in late August for a couple of reasons. When the Jerry Lewis Telethon came on, you know that back to school was around the corner, but still heart of the summer, hot days, hot nights, and we are probably crispy sunburned standing in the garage because sunblock also didn't exist in 1980 something. But we're standing in the garage. We have that weird cold but sunburned feeling, and it's just water in your ears, and swimming is great, but the after swimming was like you just had this miserable body feeling. You were tired, you were all dried out from the chlorine. But I remember the Jerry Lewis Telethon was on, and for whatever reason, my grandpa, that was must-see TV. That was must-see TV. And I don't know if it's because like they grew up with, Jerry Lewis's comedy, or some of the guests that he would bring on were more from my grandparents' time. But they actually got excited about watching the tote board, if that's what it was called, increase. They'd do it. Oh, how many we got now? And 800,000, and then Jerry Lewis would be like, yeah. And it was such a, I don't know, but the world stopped for the Jerry Lewis Telethon in the summer. And I remember seeing it on that TV, and my grandfather was just sitting there smoking a cigarette and drinking Jenny Light and just staring so deeply and concerned at the Jerry Lewis Telethon. And it would go all night. I remember that was the big deal back then. Like, how late could Jerry Lewis stay up? Could he go 24 hours? And they would always talk like, oh, he's got to take a break. He's probably going to take a break soon, because he would go all day and all night. And from what I remember, the Jerry Lewis Telethon went, back then, it went an entire 24 hours, I think. I think it went 24 hours. So the punchline here of this story is I remember specifically my grandparents talking my mother into letting me stay up in my room with my TV on all night if the Jerry Lewis Telethon was on. So I could get into bed, lights out, my sisters wouldn't know, keeping it from them. He's older, let him just get into bed and get the lights off and just let him put on the telethon. Nothing else. Let him fall asleep to the telethon. That's the right thing to do. And I thought that was one of the, my night was made. My night was made. I was a kid, and I now had this special right to stay up in my own room, not with the family, don't be ridiculous, but in my room when the rest of the house is asleep, and I'm watching the Jerry Lewis Telethon as I drift off to sleep. Random summer memory that hit me today while I was staring at that same piece of furniture and that same carpet, and really triggered the old brain. That is all. That's all. That's how we're going to do this. That's all. We'll see you next time. Good night now.